Oh, yeah. Tonight on this special late night episode of Panelwood's Comic Books and More, we're joined by none other than Griffin Sheridan and Ethan S. Parker, the duo behind two major new titles hitting shelves this summer. We're diving into twisted timelines with Blink and You'll Miss It and unleashing hybrid kaiju chaos in Godzilla Escape the Deadzone. Let's get into it.
Thank you, Pierre.
Hey,
that was a good job.
Hey
Pierre.
guys,
Thank you, Kyle.
it feels good to be here. It's great to see you boys again. Thanks for doing a late night show and giving up sleep to make it happen.
Anything for you too.
It's an
Ethan
honor.
and I have actually become nocturnal since you've last seen
It's
us.
very true.
So this is actually, oh man, wow. Good morning, everybody.
I've enabled every filter that this streaming platform will allow to erase the wrinkles and bags and darkness from my face, and it's just still not doing the job.
I'd
think you
like
look
to
Thank
say,
you.
yeah, exactly. You look incredible.
I'll
I
back
would
at you
definitely-
guys.
Yeah, yeah.
You guys are beautiful.
It's a lot of filters. It's all. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. We appreciate it. Kyle's under the weather, and I had a tooth pulled, but we're here. We're doing
Fuck your
Incredible.
tooth.
nighttime.
Wow.
Nighttime
Oh my
episode.
God.
Let's go, guys.
No
let's fucking
respect.
go. But
I
yeah,
forgot
no,
the
we
combative nature of this show.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. That's our thing. We love each other and hate each other secretly. You know, it's a thing.
This is a classic boss shui sort of,
Yes.
dynamic that they
I
have.
I forgot about that intro too.
I really
love
have to
it.
fix
so
that.
shui.
So
So
good.
shui.
It's a little bop,
Yeah.
man. Ah.
Still have to explain that to everyone when they see shui. I'm like, I don't know how to explain that to everyone.
Yeah.
Unless you
There was,
know what
there was a little
shui
window
is.
there where it was like I heard it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There. It
What?
came and it went. It came and it
Some-
went.
Yeah.
There you go. But you do bring two special books to us, and we got the special privilege of getting to read those a little early.
Yeah.
And we appreciate
You guys are some of the first people ever to get your mitts on these. And
I
we
feel
were-
special.
Yeah, no, we were really happy to get to share them. Just hot out of the oven.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Piping.
Very, very cool. It's been a while since we last talked. For our beloved viewers, can you share a bit about your Eisner-nominated careers? Yeah, that's right.
my.
Eisner-nominated. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we came out of the gate with an Image Comics series, a horror fantasy series called Kill Your Darlings, with the wonderful Bob Quinn on art and John J. Hill on design, and that was our breaking into the comics industry book, and we were lucky enough to get an Eisner nomination. Didn't have anything to do with talent, pure luck. And then we have been writing a mobile game tie-in since, and working away on 1 million books over the course of like a couple of years that are all now crazily dropping at the same time. We got Marvel work coming out. We got Boom Studios. We're over at IDW on Godzilla. There's all kinds of stuff coming out all at once that like we've just been piling up in the background since Kill Your Darlings ended.
Mm-hmm. All
crazy.
very cool stuff, I would say. I think it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys just don't stop. They just don't stop. It's just
No. Well, you
Pierre, we
can't.
genuinely do not. There
We
actually
really
is
do
no
not.
breaks.
We're extremely overwhelmed. Our inboxes are literally killing us.
There was a time that our mutual friend Donnie Cates looked at us and said, "I haven't taken a vacation in 10 years," and we went, Donnie, come on.
And it sounds so
uh,
fake. Like it sounds so untrue. And like the way that all of our comics friends, like Matt Rosenberg, not to name drop, but we're friends with Matthew Rosenberg on the Ideas Don't Bleed podcast. He is always like, man, I'm working 16-hour days. Like my laptop says my screen time is, at a critical juncture and whatever. And it's like, how? But like now that we're making several books, it's like, oh fuck, like it literally is just nonstop. So yeah, we're just trying to keep up at this point.
Yeah, genuinely. But it's fun. It's a good time.
It is
and
fun. No, it's
Matthew
the best.
Rosenberg known scumbag. I think we all
known
agree.
scumbag, and I'd rather die. I'd
Maybe
rather
he-
drop of a heart attack doing this than anything else. So.
Hey, careful what you wish for, brother. I'm chugging 150 milligrams of caffeine at 9 p.m. Let's talk about some comic books.
Oh,
baby.
you too? I'm telling you right now, the pre-workout is definitely warming my body up right now.
Oh yeah,
I'm
we should
burning up
mention
right now. I just want you
Pierre's
guys
on
to know.
creatine.
This guy's a ball of fire.
So my sleepy time tea. There's abs
Hell
on the
yeah.
mug.
There are
That
abs,
yeah.
bought me.
there are abs. Yeah, you get a dash of adamantium, a little healing factor in
Yeah.
there.
Love it.
All right, so like you said, we did get to read the books early. The 2 books we're going to
Yes.
talk about.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I got. Sorry, I guess I could just say really quick. Our next book we have coming up is our first Marvel work, which drops on July 2nd, Green Goblin #1. But we can't talk about that here.
can't talk
That's
about
all.
that.
That's all
No.
under wraps. That's under lock and key at Marvel Comics. But we're talking about the 2 other ones, the ones that
Yes.
drop in August. Yes.
right, because the Marvel one doesn't really need panel lights. Let's be honest. But honestly, these 2 won't need panel lights either because
Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know how. Like I knew they were going to be good, right? Like I've always, and I don't want to tell you to fuck yourselves like off the bat, but the consistency, like I thought it would be like a little, no, like
True.
it's you peaked and then you match the peak and you just like I can't choose which is the top. I can't.
That's so nice, man.
Like
Thank
it's
you so much.
solid. Everything is so good. So let's start with which one you want to start with?
Let's talk Godzilla first. Let's talk big
You wanna talk
lizards
Godzilla first?
and lizard men.
So let's get
Oh.
the synopsis.
Griffin,
Oh.
what's Godzilla Escape the Dead Zone about?
Godzilla Escape the Dead Zone is part of the new Kaisei era of Godzilla titles coming out from IDW Publishing. Edited, the whole line is edited by Jake Williams over there. Super great dude, great editor, and he's got a bunch of crazy stuff planned for this new universe. It's the first time that there's actually been a shared universe, like multiple Godzilla titles happening at once that are all in the same continuity. So this is like a really, really awesome opportunity for Ethan and I to step into it. So you have Tim Seeley over on the mainline Godzilla, and then we have Chris Gooch and Oliver Ono over on Starship Godzilla, which is kind of exactly what it sounds like. They ride around in space in Mecha Godzilla, so it's fucking cool. And then you have our book, Escape the Dead Zone, which is a landmark for Toho history, as we have come to find out. It's the first time that there's ever actually been a formal human kaiju hybrid, as our book follows a man named the Wanderer, or a being, should say, that has come to be known as the Wanderer, as he trapezes around this place called the Dead Zone, which is a large chunk of the United States of North America that has been sort of sectioned off in this universe. Why and what exactly is going on within the Dead Zone? What do the people on the outside of the Dead Zone know about it? These are all questions we're seeking to answer. And of course, the Wanderer himself is going to go around, fight some monsters, come up against a couple of maybe cults, different types of groups that you may find hidden within the many different depths of the Dead Zone, and maybe even come up against his greatest battle yet. His greatest battle begins, Ethan, in Escape the Dead Zone. And we are doing our signature brand of, oh, that was fucking cool, mixed with, oh, wow, I'm crying. And we are so stoked to do that in a Godzilla title. We love Godzilla, and to be able to play around in the same universe as Big G, as Little
It's insane.
G, that's crazy.
It's insane, and like there's such an ambition to the whole project. Like, Griffin mentioned our editor Jake Williams. He had such big ideas for this, like tracked us down in San Diego and like told us the whole concept of trying to build this universe. And when you're building any universe, it's like you want the flagship, you want your straight down the middle Godzilla point of view book, but then you want a cosmic side. You're shooting into space with Starship Godzilla, and then you want the grody side of the universe. You want the like, where are all the freaks at? And we've got a wasteland full of not only kaiju, but weird, mutated, just bizarre characters. Just some of the strangest stuff that we could possibly cook up. And we I don't know who started saying it, but we've started saying that if the book essentially takes place in Godzilla's footprint, what the world left behind after being devastated by the events of a world with kaiju. So that's the gist of it.
Yeah, we got a little Mad Max meets Over the Garden Wall is the this meets that us and Jake sort of keep saying to each other. So we like this sort of episodic, and I think Over the Garden Wall is an interesting one. This is Jake's like main touch point for it, is that it's like sort of anthological. Oh my fuck! Oh god!
Episodic.
Let's stick with that one. So we're trying to explore that, which is like something that Ethan and I think do in some ways and then not in other ways. So we're looking to like sort of bring it all together, but it's also like it has an emotional side to it. It has maybe even a cute side to it that is so unexpected because there's also blood and guts and like murder and like really disgusting shit. So because the other half being Mad Max is like,
and curse words, it's like it's a rough place, but there's heart to be found.
Say curse words, it's fine. That's not what I'm talking about.
There are many tales to be found of many varieties in the Deadzone.
It's true.
I like that. The tales. A lot of tales.
I think you made tales cool. Like I think that's the thing. Tales are
we have a man with a tail. We have a Zilla man.
We did a big sword, and now I feel like every single book has a big sword. We're gonna do tail.
Not to point any fingers.
We're gonna do guy with a tail, and let's just say, if you see a bunch of books in a year and a half from now with guys with tails, you know where it came from.
I swear to God, if Spider-Man's got a tail coming up in the solicits, I'm going to lose it. I
ordered a tail. I'm going to start rocking one everywhere I go.
You should. You pull it off.
Yeah, I thought I could. So you're in the boardroom with IDW. They're just like, all right. Griffin, Ethan, we want you to do this. What was like your pitch to them? Like, all right, this is what we're gonna do. Like, how did that all go down?
There is literally a phrase that we threw out like right away that I don't know if we can say, but no, whatever. I think because this is not what it is anymore. That I think it's. Griffin seems to disagree.
I mean, if we're on the same page, I wouldn't say it.
All right. It's a big spoiler, but we did pretty much immediately have a concept of like this meets that is sort of not revealed until the end of issue 1 and that sort of starts to unfold over the course of the rest of the arc. And it is taking sort of an anime concept and smashing it into the world of Godzilla and kaiju and everything. And I'd love to elaborate later, but it is worth pointing out that it's an anime concept because there's a lot of anime influence going into this universe so far, I think, even over in the flagship book, which is evident even just in the free comic book. I think if you flip through the free comic book day issue that has samples of all 3 of the books, I think you're going to feel a lot of anime energy in there. And I think that that's a touch point for each of the teams in one way or another. And very much so. So we said, how about this particular anime meets Godzilla?
Which you will tell us later.
Yes.
Yes.
I personally love the uniqueness of this because even before, like, I didn't even realize it was you guys writing it, to be honest with you. So I got like the IDW whatever, like the teaser book, the preview book. The preview book. So I picked that up, and I'm going through. I was like, oh, cool, they're doing a bunch of Godzilla, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. Like, and I saw like the cover or whatever. I don't know exactly how much it gave you in that teaser book, but I was like, kaiju meets man. I was like, that. I feel like that's never been done before. That's so like
man meets tail.
Man meets tail.
Oh,
it's all tail. It's all tail. Yeah. So I'm very well. I guess I would say I'm excited to read it, but I'm one of the lucky few that got to read it.
Right. Yes. Yes.
It's really fucking good. It's really fucking
thank
good.
you.
So it's exactly what you say it is and more. What was it like working with Pablo on it? Pablo Tunica.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I think like Ethan's saying, when you flip through the Free Comic Book Day issue and you can see all the different art. Again, it's Pablo Tunica. Again, I have not actually said Pablo's name out loud too many times or heard him say it. So Pablo, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. And Nicola Sigzimia. I don't know how to say his last name.
We say names wrong here. That's our thing. We do that here. It's okay.
I think that was perfect, though. I think you did it.
Thank you. I'm gonna say it with confidence. And then
we'll edit it. We'll edit it afterwards. It's okay. We'll make it sound really, really good.
Oliver Ono over on that one's easy on Starship Godzilla. Everyone has such a distinct look, not just to the individual titles in this universe, but just these are like incredible artists. This is what I'm constantly telling Jake is like, hey man, you kind of like absolutely like knocked it out of the park on, I mean, so much of it, but the artist that he has put on these books is really, I think, what's going to make the whole thing stand out that much more. Everyone is so like honed in on a particular style. It's disparate between the books in the line, but also in comparison to so much that is on stands right now. And Pablo has such a just distinct, like realized vision of this world where the whole thing has been coming together, you know, relatively quickly for Ethan and I, right? Where we built Kill Your Darlings over almost half a decade, 4 years, right? And so to jump into a whole new Godzilla universe and like turn the whole thing around in a year feels fast to us. So there's been like a little bit of, you know, oh, I hope like the world feels as like real and good like as it does in our heads. And honestly, Pablo has taken everything that we've given him in the scripts and just fleshed it out like 10 times more. Like the world feels so lived in. It feels exactly how I was hoping it would feel. And that is to say gross, but also like fantastical. Like there's almost a Ghibli sort of feeling to it. Not that he is like a Miyazaki clone, but something about the way that
to the edges and a roundness and
yes. And so that coming up against all of the subject matter of the book, the actual happenings of the book, I think is like a really interesting combination. And there's some characters that actually are not like fully introduced in the first issue, so you guys don't even know them just yet either. But basically we're surrounded by 3 or 4 recurring characters that Ethan and I have just like fallen head over heels for, and we're just like, God, we could write these characters forever. They're so much fun. And then Pablo has taken that and he just runs with it too, and we are just so on the same wavelength about who those characters are and how they act. And we don't even like, he's in a totally different time zone, he's on the other side of the planet, so we like don't get to talk a whole lot. It's all over Gmail, baby. And the way that you can feel us just like in sync is really special.
And something I think we can say, like, because, you know, names aren't spoilers, I guess. These characters we're talking about's names are Runt and Glass Eater. And I think that is that tells you a little bit about what life is like in the Deadzone, where those would be the sorts of names that people would happily walk around with. Like it is, he's crafted this world that I had my wife read the books just earlier today, and she was like, she loved the art, obviously, but she was like, everybody's so gross. So I was like, yeah, they are. It's a book full of freaks, man. But like as Griffin alluded to, there is cuteness coming too, and that's like the interesting thing about Pablo is like he's in this sweet spot of art style for us, where it's like he's so distinct, he's so good at design, like he can do such complex things, but there's also a simplicity to the expressiveness of his cartooning that allows for such emotional storytelling. And so when you get characters who are lovable, his like the looks he puts on their faces, the body language he gives them, they're so alive. He's an absolute genius. Honestly, I couldn't be more grateful that we were paired with him.
He like sent us some designs even when we were just talking about like what is the concept of the book, because he came on maybe even before we were, or like as soon as we were on the book, he was on the book. And so before there was even a script or an outline for an issue, even like he was sending stuff through. And so like his design has informed like so much of this world. Like it's just been there from the very beginning. So like the version of the Wanderer you see is basically the first version he turned in, because he sent that through and we were like, this is pretty much it. There's one key twist that we did add, and that is he's a Godzilla man. So
you added the tail.
We gave him a tail and
scales him up a little bit. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So it's been a real joy to work with him. He just sent us all the colors for issue 3. So after this, Ethan and I have the real pleasure of digging into that. We're very excited.
So IDW paired the 3 of you guys together and was like, yeah, you're gonna hop on. He's gonna be your artist.
Which again, so grateful, because I think a lot of the time too on these licensed books, a lot of the time the art is, can be kind of stagnant or like, less lively, because like there's an interest in making sure that licensed books get likenesses correct and they can properly represent, the IP and everything. And so I think it's amazing to see that all 3 of these books in this line they're just like, you could skip all our words, just look at them. God damn.
It's just wild, like that they really like. I don't know. You guys just like work so well together already, and like again, to describe it as Studio Ghibli, like I see exactly what you're saying. Where it's
yucky
it's
Studio
gritty.
Ghibli, yeah,
yucky Ghibli.
It's got that gritty, trashy feel, right? But like still in like a beautiful, whimsical world. Like it's funny. So yeah, that's the best way to describe that. You got a genius artist to work with.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Amen. Very, very fortunate.
So speaking of the 3 books, I don't know what you can tell us about how they may be kind of intertwined in the same world. If there's like a grander scheme here, I don't know what you could say, but I think you could share.
Yes.
And then of course, question. Like the world building, like, is there any kind of limitation because you have to worry about someone else's book?
Not a lot of limitation. No, we have very rarely ever come up against something that was like, no, you guys can't do that because it steps on something in this other book. More just like Jake makes sure to catch details of like, this needs to be called this, or this might need to take place at this time to make sure that everything like lines up. And as far as like crossover and stuff, yeah, obviously then there's not a lot we could say, but I will say like Jake is, a mastermind. He's been planning all this for a long time. He's made sure that the books are threaded together and in large ways and in small. So there are references all over the place that key you in that these books are tied together, and there is sort of an overall story being told if you're paying attention to the universe at large. So and like that is our first taste too of like working within a shared universe with other creators as well. As well as taking on a beloved property like this, and so yeah, like it has been extremely cool to have shared documents with these amazing creators and to find any space that we can to make sure that they play off each other, they bounce off each other. So keep your eyes peeled for all the little ways that may happen, and maybe larger ways.
I think what's so cool about it is that we have those opportunities to tie it all together and really play up the fact that it's all in the same sandbox. but also it's been a mission. It's been part of Jake's mission to make sure that each book feels like it's its own thing, and the fact that like this is not just like Godzilla stories that you could only do in comics, which is also part of the mission statement of the Kaisei era, is to do something that only works in this medium. But to also just make them great comics unto themselves, and that no matter if you're picking up one of the books, two of the books, or all three of the books, that you are getting a full experience from that title, and that each one has its own identity, which is great, because that's like Ethan and I love to hear that too. Like, we don't want to be too beholden to the shared universe. But
you can absolutely read this book on its own. Yeah, like it doesn't lean too heavily on anything else. It's just it's as a shared universe should be. It just adds to the fun if you're paying attention to everything else.
Totally. That said, I can tell you everything that happens. So
sure. oh, Griffin, I think you hit your mic's muted there. Oh fuck, he's telling you guys about some really cool stuff. Griffin, you're gonna want to unmute before you're gonna want to hit the microphone button.
Yeah, it was muted.
We missed all.
We got to move on. We're moving.
We should. For the interest of time, we should probably keep.
Already
going.
9 o'clock. Yeah.
Right.
If you do that bit in another podcast, I'm gonna be so pissed. That is mine.
No, that's a Panaloids exclusive bit.
That's right.
That's good. All right. So this next question, I can only assume was the question that I threw at you, Kyle, and that
it's the only thing you contributed.
You've aggressively edited to make it family friendly. So I would like to tell them my real question, but I'll just, for the sake of time, I'll read this question. With this hybrid angle, we're assuming there's a messy love story somewhere in the background. Can you tell us more about the Wanderer, or give us a hint of how he came to be? And I'll let you guess what my question was.
When a man kaiju and a kaiju really love each other.
Wait. Oh, Griffin, you've hit the mute button. Oh God, I'm sorry. So what I'll say, his hand motions are doing a lot of the heavy lifting. But what I will say, what I will say is this is a new world. This is a new world full of secret labs, secret government, projects, even like potentially mystical elements relating to the kaiju. That like there are, like as Griffin alluded to, there are cults going on here. Like there are, especially within the wasteland, you're gonna find every kind of freak, every kind of like. There's an origin story around every corner. So it's part of the inherent premise of the book is this man with this tail, this Godzilla man, the Wanderer.
Where'd he get that tail?
Where'd he get that tail? Where'd he come from? Why's he got a trucker hat on? What's going on there? And he's become less of a man, really, and he's become more of sort of a legend in this place. Maybe he doesn't even have all the answers just yet. So while I would love to tell you that he's the result of some sort of beautiful love affair between a flesh and bones man and a scale and tail beast. Who knows? It's all to be revealed. I hate to be too cagey, but the Wanderer story will play out over time, and there's a lot of stuff in there that I'm very excited for people to find out.
I think there's room for a 4th book in this universe. I'm just saying. And I think I have the story.
Right.
I don't know, but
sort of like Tom King's Love Everlasting, but with more like forked tongues and
more screonk.
More
Let's
screonk.
Just say the book would only be available in a plastic bag.
Wow. We got to poly bag it.
Can I just say I found out today that we are working on something that may be polybagged. That's a Panaloids exclusive. Griffin doesn't even know what I'm talking about.
It's even better.
I saw in an email today there was a little thing that said polybagged, and I was like, my God, we've done it. We'll see that.
It's red band, so of course it's polybagged. Those are all polybagged.
That's crazy.
That's a hint right there.
Oh, I'm excited.
Should have muted for that one, Emma.
Oh,
I'm excited in a couple different ways, guys. I'm excited in a couple different ways. Let's just put it down. I don't know where I am anymore.
So we're gonna shift. We're gonna
the
shift
creatine
the gears.
is going crazy, dude.
We're gonna shift away.
Okay.
The fornication of the kaiju.
Great.
No more fornication. Got it.
No more. All right. So
and we're back with fornication. No, okay,
fuck! No. It was just a word from our sponsor. That's crazy. Okay.
Oh.
So blink and you'll miss it.
Yes.
Also very, very good.
Oh,
and can I say both books, having read them early, the endings, like now I have to wait like how many months to know for both?
A couple.
It hit me pretty hard twice there.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, Blink and You'll Miss It. I could do the premise of this one. Blink and You'll Miss It is our new creator-owned book from Boom Studios. And this one, we got the wonderful Keith Browning on pencils, and we got Brad Simpson on colors. It is such a team. Like we're talking about art. Jesus Christ. This is, Keith is still fairly new to doing, full sequentials on a comic book. And my God, getting to show that off today was an absolute delight. Blink and You'll Miss It is extremely near and dear to our hearts. This is a romance first and foremost, I would have to say. It's many things. It's sort of a time travel romance mystery thriller, maybe, about a
horror sci-fi.
Yeah, it's all of these things and more. As Kyle said earlier, it is. It's tough to, we're trying to hone down exactly what the sort of elevator cell of it is, because this one we've built very similarly to Kill Your Darlings, where there's a lot of mysteries, a lot of questions, and we're really trying to make sure that people have like we don't ruin the experience for people, but it pertains to many things, including a woman's life unraveling, a woman slipping backward in time, someone returning to a town they grew up in and finding that it's exactly the same as when they left it many, many years ago. It is. It's melancholic, but it's also like it's really strange. We've been using the word dreamlike more and more. I think that it's, if you like, Twin Peaks, like there's like a very Twin Peaksy sort of David Lynchy vibe to it. It's, and there's not, as rambly as that is, like there's not a whole lot more I think we're willing to say just yet. But if you like love stories, if you like time travel, if you like getting a little sad but then maybe feeling a little warm inside afterwards,
and then sad again
for sure. I mean, with all these books that we're working on now, a little scared maybe. We have a whole slate of books that we've been working on forever, and all of them are us sort of iterating on different sides of what we got to do at Image with Kill Your Darlings. And if you read Kill Your Darlings and the very like kind of hard on its sleeve side of it, the sort of the little bit of romance threaded through there, and how much like, of ourselves, how personal that book was, like this is very much that side of us. Boom Studios has let us really run wild here and do something that is us expressing a lot. So while we're getting to do Godzilla men and Green Goblins and all of that stuff, and all of that is this like absolute blast of escapist entertainment, Blink and You'll Miss It is like, I don't know, come along with us into this weird fever dream, slip backward in time a little bit, and maybe get a little in touch with your soft side.
Maybe.
I like that you say it's you guys, just like Kill Your Darlings, right? You're touching something that was very personal to you, and now we're doing this something similar here with Blink and You'll Miss It. What kind of sparked the idea? What was the premise behind this little story that we have here?
That's a complicated question.
It is. That's the question. Blink and You'll Miss is one of the weirdest things we've ever done. And that weirdness came out of this constant, like, okay, this is the book. And then we chatted with some folks at Boom. And then in those conversations moved it over sort of into a different concept. And that process sort of looped a couple of times to the point where we got to more or less the premise that the series has now. But in doing so, Ethan and I admittedly got a little lost in the sauce on it. And instead of trying to like logic or 3-act structure or hero's journey our way out of the sauce, we said no, deeper into the sauce. We thought about calling the book Into the Sauce, Sauce Boys, Blink
Sauce
in Your Sauce.
Explorers. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
But all this to say, it didn't come about. Like the concept of the book did not come about as naturally or as quickly as some of our other ones have.
Yeah.
That is not to say we don't know what happens in the book. To an extent, we don't. But also, like we are being very exploratory with this one, where and with a lot of what we're working on right now, with how fast we've had to work. You know, we went from working on 1 book to working on 5 books very quickly, and so that means all that creative brainstorming and smashing things with a hammer has to happen in more real time. And so the concept of Blink just started as girl is slipping backwards in time. And then all of the elements just revealed themselves as we got to know the characters more. And then from that, got to know the world.
Over 200 frantic phone calls, just sweating.
Yeah. We're like
pacing.
Basically like every week for several months, Ethan and I would call each other and go, I know what the fuck the book is now. And then like the next call would be a different thing. We are so like now that Keith is here, Keith too, like just really honed when we found out that he was going to be on the book with us, and we saw just how like incredible his mood was. Like he's so like he has so much like Tim Sale and Chris Samney in him.
Oh my god.
And like seeing that that's like the direction that the book was going, then Ethan and I could more wholeheartedly say, okay, then we're leaning all the way into the mystery side of things, and we're going to go and do something a bit more dreamy and a little less structured. And yeah, in general, wanting to do something weird. Like if you suddenly woke up and you didn't know who you were, and you were going backwards in time and nobody knew what the fuck was going on, and suddenly this woman that you maybe once knew showed up in front of your face, but then, oh no, it's the day before. That sounds like a weird experience. And we sort of wanted to go along with that feeling and that energy on this. And it has revealed a side of Ethan and I's storytelling that we are very, very excited about. And that I think there could be a lot more of what we're doing on Blink in the future, just because it's been so exciting.
Yeah. This is the thing I was going to say. Yeah, it was like he mentioned like the exploratory nature of it, and it really is like Blink is kind of a before and after thing for us, I think, because like we've had a process of how we break story and how we work through the plot of books and how we outline and all that stuff. And Blink and You'll Miss It like threw us for so many loops initially that we like really learned to just kind of like follow our instincts. You turn the little headlamps on and you go into the dark, and you just feel around and see what's going on. I mean, we've joked about going into the mines before, like of that being like the really hard part of the writing process, where we're yelling at each other and backspacing each other's work and whatever. And Blink is like going into the mines, but in a fun way, like if you were kids going into the mines, where it's like, oh shit, what's over there? And like, what if we really committed to it? What if we just went all the way in there? And it's really exciting. It's very high risk, high reward, where it's like we have started to find these moments in Blink and You'll Miss It through these character relationships and through these like very strange scenarios that we've concocted for these poor characters, where we're like, we have both called each other and been like, dude, I mean, I teared up during that. Like that really touched something in me. And yeah, like I think everything we've written since really getting somewhere with Blink and You'll Miss It has had more of that feel, where we're we're just like letting the wind take us. We're going, and it's really exciting. It really feels great because like at a certain point, like when you outline really thoroughly and then you execute everything that's in the outline, even if it goes really well, there's always a part of you that's like, was there maybe something more interesting by the side of the road over there? Like, what if we had pulled off and whatever? And so, like, yeah, and we've talked so much about Image letting us do whatever we wanted with Kill Your Darlings, and like, it's really worth saying that like Boom Studios has also been absolutely wonderful and let us go as weird as we want, and so we're doing stuff in this book that we just can't do in any of the other ones, so all of our weird bullshit is ending up here, and if you're into that, check it out.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I honestly, I think it was the end of it left me like I was going left, right, up, and maybe sideways. Like I didn't know where I was going, and I loved that. Like I loved everything about it. Like even just the ending, I was like, "Wait, what?" Like,
Yeah, the ending is like what the fuck is this now?
Yeah, I was like, "What did I just go through just now?" Like,
I'm so glad to hear this because I am glad to hear it. Because issue 1 started in a totally different place. There was a whole first draft that is unrecognizable. Almost none of it came over into the final draft. It's actually, I think, becoming issue 3. But that's like the weird way that this book is working, where we wrote a whole first draft of issue 1 and we were like, this is not it, folks. I'm going to put this over off to the side. And then it's been sitting there. And now that we're over here writing issue 3, we're like, hey, wait a minute. Let's bring some of that back in. Because we're timey-wimey, right? There's room to play with that. And the rewrite on issue 1 came purely out of, this is a weird, dreamy book, but God, I need issue 1 to fucking rip. And I need that ending to just like sock you in the face and be like, come back for issue 2. And that just wasn't there on the first draft. And so complete overhaul, and which led to a larger sort of structural change that was super cool, super exciting, and I think makes the book significantly more interesting and will unfold in a more fun way for readers. But yeah, that's great to hear, because we did a whole new pass just to make sure that the ending hit.
Yeah, no, it definitely hit. Definitely hit. So you had Keith Browning on the art, which is amazing. I think it again matches very well with kind of what you're creating here. Were there any pages or panels that completely changed how you viewed a scene?
Oh man,
that's a great question. Yeah. I mean, again, like his whole thing is mood. Like he's cat-like, and that's so crucial to the book as well. Like we scripted it hoping that the mood would come across, and then when we started getting his pages, because he's so like, his darks are so dark. Like we had initially been like, what if this book had kind of a watercolory kind of look to it or something like that? And Keith like has a little bit of that energy, but it's also kind of almost like charcoal-y, like just a little bit, like, and like that, like it has this almost like gothic kind of edge to it. And so he brings so much mood in these ways where like there's a scene at the start that is just a character on a bike approaching a town, and that scene, seeing that visually for the first time, it was just like, oh, this is like foreboding in this really interesting way. And then there's a scene in a diner later, and seeing the character approach the diner and then step inside and seeing that atmosphere was just like, it's like kind of heartbreaking. Like there's this inherent feeling of nostalgia entering that space in the middle of a place you really don't want to be. And so like, I don't know that it was like, oh, I didn't expect the scene to be this, but it was just, I think it was more like I didn't expect the power of it. Like the things that we were hoping to inject into those scenes, when Keith brought it to us, it was like tenfold. It was just like, oh, this is some like potent shit you're giving us, Keith. My God. Yeah.
There's a splash page, just a couple of pages after the title, that like we were hoping, of course, would be kind of spooky and imposing. And then he sent it over and we were like, Jesus Christ, dude, how long did that take you? And as well as like the last splash as well, there are some elements, some characters that we hadn't quite like totally hashed out, and it just kind of came down to, well, Keith, let it rip. Let's see what did you come up with? And again, some of these characters and things that are showing up towards the end of the book, we weren't totally sure what the role of these things were going to be or what they look like or how they function. And then Keith brought them to life, and we were like, nope, there it is. Now I get it. And now I know what their role in the book is. And now I can see exactly where and how to inject them into the rest of the series. So he's been crucial.
Yeah, I felt like the whole time I was reading the book in like a spooky fog, like the whole time.
Totally
beautiful.
And I don't think it was there, but like it just felt like I was just sitting in like a fog, like Silent Hill vibes. Like I don't know what was happening. You know, I was like,
totally.
All right, we're walking through this town, and listen. So the biggest part of the story so far is Perennial Harbor, right? It's a huge part of the story. So looking at that town, how did you build a town that holds both a love story and a collapsing reality? Oh, that's a good one. That's a good question. I like that. Very sexy question. Very sexy.
The creatine likes that one, dude. Hell yeah, dude.
I mean, it's an interesting question. How did we? I mean, the town is crucial to the. You could even say the town is a character in the story if you wanted to, but I don't know why you would, so I won't.
Get out. Get him.
Well, we won't. We'll take that away. Take it away. Nope.
cut that out. I want to get rid of that.
Town is a character, confirmed. Also not confirmed. Not a character again.
Unconfirm it. But no, I mean, something we've been saying too is like this book is kind of like about what it feels like to sort of hold on to somebody while the world is trying to stamp you out, like while you feel like the world around you is just getting darker and darker and darker, and if it had its way you would be gone, and just like clinging to a person in the middle of that. Because I think that like you know, we're both like lover boys, and we both love our romance and everything, and like I think like when if you're in a relationship or you just have a close relationship with somebody in the time we're in now, it's just like, you know, not only are we all like fearing for ourselves and our own like livelihoods and everything, but it's like having somebody else that you care about as much or more so than yourself in this world is just such a dire fucking situation to be in. And that's very much the vibe of Perennial Harbor, where it is, you know, obviously without getting into too much detail, it's a bad place. It's a weird place. There's weird shit going on. That becomes evident pretty quick. And living there is going to eat away at you. And so like having a love story in the center of a place like that, or maybe, as you say, there's sort of a collapsing reality, it just feels inherent, I think, to us in our lives, that it's like you try to build something beautiful in the middle of just in the eye of the storm. That's a feeling we're very familiar with, and it's something that we really wanted to express in the book.
Yeah. I see it.
Confirmed, not confirmed.
I want to talk about it because like there's just certain scenes where it's just like you just like take it away, you give it back, and it was just I don't want to like.
But what is that ending?
Like, so hard. It's so hard to like. I know, that's what I mean. Like it was just like it was like boom, boom, here you go, and I was like, okay, that's not what I was going with, but okay, all right, that's where we're at. It's so hard.
We love to play keep away, man. We love
true.
just giving you just the tip of the iceberg and then being like, you want the rest? Give me $3.99 more, you fucker. No. You know, we're businessmen more than anything else. I think that's what's important. Man.
It's true.
All right, so there's a lot happening. Obviously, we talked about what's going on in this town. It can be a real mess, time warp realities and all. How did you keep things structured, and what rules did you set?
Griffin,
kind of going back to that ramble I went on moments ago. We didn't.
I mean, there are many outlines. Like there are many
There are
outlines.
many outlines.
There are many like documents that say this goes to that and this goes to that and this goes to that. But we had to decide that those are not maps so much as they are like compasses.
Yes, I think that's a great
That's a good
way
answer. Huh.
to put it, where
Yeah.
I think we can boil down each issue to a sentence as far as like, or a couple sentences, whatever, as to what's happening and where or when we are going and where do we sort of want to leave off so that so the next issue can pick up. I think there is a structure to the book, even though it is strange and loose. And I think that will actually take some time for it to reveal itself, though. It's not as obvious of a structure. I think you're going to have to get to maybe issue 2, maybe even all the way to issue 3 before you sort of click like, oh, okay, I think I understand like what's going on here. It's going to be 5 issues. And so by the time you understand it at the end of issue 3, brother, like we're there at the finale. So I think we know the key emotional beats that we want to happen in each issue. And this is actually even outside of Blinking You Miss It. This is kind of what Ethan and I use as our North Star anyway. What is the big emotional impact of the issue? Less so, what is the narrative like point A, point B? That helps scripting. That helps the physical process of writing. So then I can have more of an idea of where I'm going as we're writing it. But as far as keeping things straight for the storytelling of it, all we're focused on is character, for better or for worse. Like Keith had to send us an email and be like, okay, so she's this old in issue 1, and then she's this old in issue 2, and then we're moving to this time, and that does not actually line up with how, like, what you have here says that she's
Time
this
travel,
old,
baby.
but that doesn't actually line up. So how old is everyone at all these different points in time? And then I had to go on my lunch break at work and sit down with the script and like do math and be like, well, she's 73 here, so I gotta go. Okay. So there's that part of keeping it straight, which evidently has maybe been getting lost in the cracks. But don't worry, Keith is on top of it. Keith is making sure that we
Keith makes sure it makes sense, man. I mean, he's like he does. He's a logician. Like when he's like turning in the layouts and stuff, he's like, look, I added stuff to this sequence just to make sure that the physical movement of it all tracks, and we're like, okay, great, thanks, awesome.
Yeah.
He's like having we're throwing all the toys together. He's like having an adult in the room. Like, oh, thank God, Keith. Like,
Ethan and I are like, woo, we're being more exploratory and weird. What's going on?
Yeah.
And Keith honestly comes in and he's like, good job, fellas. This is fun. This is great. But also,
so Keith the structure.
Figure this
Keith
out.
is the structure.
Keith is the structure. Keith is bringing structure for sure. And like it's very true that we are very character focused writers. Where like we're gonna make sure that all the information is there if you need it. You can look back at just like in Kill Your Darlings, where it's like we don't spell everything out, but you can go back and look at details and piece things together. But like you might get to the end of this book and be like, wait, how did that? What was that? And then you can go check. But regardless, it's like we want to make sure that at each stage of the story, like you're in the shoes of our characters, like you're hopefully feeling what they're feeling. That's always our number one priority.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Kill Your Darlings, is anyone going to make an appearance in this? I know it's two
separate. Oh my God.
Like different publishers. There's not a fucking chance. No Wallace. I'm sorry.
No Wallace. No Wallace. No. I mean, I will say, like there have been little cheeky hints or little like tips of the hat here and there in different stuff that we've worked on, but nothing too explicit. Now, Kill Your Darlings really lives in its own space, I think.
Come on, give me a Pixar moment. Give me a little like Wallace doll sitting in the corner. Come on.
What do we seem like that kind of self-indulgent bullshit would be up our sleeves? Do we seem like we're that self-absorbed? God damn, we're trying to craft new worlds every time we sit down with a book.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
All right, so let's do a little would you rather question.
Oh,
okay.
Our favorite, right? Would you rather be stuck in a time warp town, be half kaiju with a nice thick tail, or be the love interest from Love, Your Story in Hello Darkness?
Oh my god!
Wow.
Well,
not
she
the
seems
Time Warp
like she's
Town. That seems bad.
pretty set up because he's bringing her gifts and stuff. They're not even together, and he can't get over her in Love Cupid.
But if you read that though, you know that she's sort of revealed to be kind of psychopathic as well. So we'd be signing off on being sort of morally bankrupt.
It's the kaiju. Like I'd be
it's
a
the kaiju
man.
one for sure.
That
I
is
would
the correct
love
answer.
to be a Godzilla man. Yeah,
I mean
he's got it all. Like not that he's the happiest guy in the world, but like he has powers.
And by he's got it all, we mean nothing. Actually,
nothing.
That's
I mean powers,
it.
and he has a job. Is all I really mean.
Kinda.
It's
a self-imposed survival job mostly, which I guess is most jobs. So.
Well, that's what I have now, and then you just add powers in the mix, so that's sick.
I was gonna say it feels pretty similar, but give me scales, tails, and Screonk.
Yeah, both of the other ones kind of seem like a fucking nightmare. So
yeah, I think that they're all missing a tail other than him, so it's like obviously.
Are you guys in agreement?
Oh yeah, I want a tail.
Yeah.
I'd like it.
Okay, great.
100%.
Tail.
For balance.
Although I feel like going to the bathroom, but no, I guess you adapt.
No.
Never mind. It's not an issue. Not an issue.
It's
issue 4 of Deadzone, and it'll all make more sense.
There you go. Oh.
Correct.
Is there
teaser.
Going to the bathroom scene?
And yes, and also in a way, the tail is sort
out.
of a character in the book.
It's true.
Oh, character confirmed. Another character confirmed.
That's correct.
Singular tail. We couldn't say tails.
Every
obvious
every
reasons.
every item and location and appendage we include is a character.
Oh, this is exciting. It's the first appearance, the first issue's first appearance of
Speculators go get it. Yes,
speculators go get it.
Nice. Well, we're at the point where we're gonna just mention Kill Your Darlings a little bit. All right. Okay. First off, I want to say that this is the one book, other than like a couple mainstream books, but like this is like the one book my fiance actually read, and she wanted like issue 2 and issue 3, like, and I wouldn't give it to her. I wouldn't give it to her because I didn't want her to ruin it. She flipped through issue 1 a little aggressively. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all.
You mean you didn't want her to physically ruin your copies?
Yeah. I gave her her own copies.
That's
I was like, hey, you hold those. You like do whatever you got to do with those. It was
fucking bending the fucking.
God damn it! It was like a toddler.
It's a cardstock cover.
I've never seen a person fumble through a book like as aggressively as she has. I mean, it's scary.
We have a trade paperback that's good for readers of all levels of aggression, I think.
Definitely.
I think
she's like dog ear in pages of a 20-page issue. I'm gonna come back to this.
It's very scary.
I have to and Kill Your Darlings. There's plenty of stuff to dog ear and come back to, I think.
It's true.
The ending of Kill Your Darlings really hit hard. How early did you know that that's how the story would end? And is it the end? Will we ever see more?
The end was like that came. I mean, we had like, because as we've said, like that was a multi-year process putting that book together, and like we did like 12 drafts of each issue. Like it was ridiculous, and so the sort of like climax of the story, we knew the shape of that for most of the time. I think, like roughly, like we kind of understood what was going on there. In terms of like the end and like the emotional end where the characters end up and all of that, that was like a lot of that was coming together in the later stages where it's like we were writing the last few issues. The sequence with Rose and her mother at the end Rose and her child. That's crazy to talk about that now, I guess, because we haven't done a lot of spoiler chats about that. But yeah, Rose and her child at the end. That scene came to me in the middle of one of the worst panic attacks I'd ever had in my life. I was in my car after a really bad shift at my day job, and I was just melting down. And then I had flash into my head, and I called Griffin in literal tears, telling him I was like, hey, I had this idea, and so we ended up sort of building the ending from those pieces of like what we had already had and incorporating that. And Griffin added the elements like the scene, that one page where you see in those last few scenes where it's a flashback to little Rose waiting for her mom to get off her job at the diner, and drawing on the kids menu and stuff. Like that was a thing that Griffin had brought to me that I just like thought was absolutely heartbreaking. And when he paneled it out in the page description of our script, like I was just like, Jesus Christ, this is like one of the best moments in the whole book. And then when reading that, like when we got the PDF and I could actually read it, just tears, just cried. I just thought that was beautiful. And so like it really was just like this really organic thing of like, here's what's going on in the plot, and we had that for a while, but then in getting to it, like stuff was just pouring out of us of like, here's a moment that feels really real to me, here's a moment that feels really real to me. And so it was very organic, and we were so happy with how that book ended up, how it came together at the end, because it felt I had never felt so expressed by something I had made, and that ending really like says something, I think, about us and about what we were trying to do with the series as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, we had a like late game, like third act pivot, everything to do with the witch, the villain of the book, and her involvement was super late. And there was a couple of different versions of the like second half of the series, and then that turned into like the last couple issues, and that turned into just the last issue. And then we did a sort of overhaul into like, it feels right to come full circle back into some like high fantasy after all of the horror that happens for the most part in the main chunk of the book. It's a horror fantasy, and we start in a very fantastical place with Rose, and we wanted to like try and bring her back there and to sort of mirror issue 1 a little bit. All of that was in the sort of sea of ideas. And then when it actually came time to write it, it was 100 pages long initially. And so then it was the name of the game really for the whole series. But issue 8 especially was, okay, this needs to become all of the most important moments, both, yes, for wrapping up the narrative, but also for the characters. What are all the last little beats we want to get in there? And so, yeah, it was in many ways exactly as we planned, and in also equally as many ways totally off the cuff.
It definitely hit home. Definitely hit home with us and a lot of things.
Awesome, man. I mean, it's one of the few times I've actually like gotten like felt it as it was like happening. Usually it takes getting Ethan's dialogue in there, and it takes seeing the artist render it for it to like finally like click for me. But that was an experience where it was like, oh fuck.
We were killing ourselves over that one too. Yeah, because Griffin was having to continuously chop it down from that 100 pages and cut it down and cut it down and cut it down, like leading up to my passes. And then I was chugging coffee on a late night flight to New York Comic-Con that we were doing together. And then we were in our hotel room together after a full day of the con, just being absolutely just blasted, just like destroyed physically. But then we're sitting there like up late trying to get it done because we got to send it over to Bob that night. And it was just like, we were just pushing everything in ourselves to get that thing over the line. And so it was still looking at it now. It really was. And looking at it now, that issue, how thick it is, like it feels like its own tome, and that issue feels like a miracle to me still. I just can't believe, I'm still immensely proud of it.
Yeah, shout out Dr. Bob.
Oh my God, Bob. I mean, Bob was a hero for drawing that whole thing for us, my God. And with all the stuff we asked for too, because we were just pouring every last idea we had for him to draw in the book. Like we were just like, new monster forms, new powers, new outfits, new sword, new like just like everything we had. And he was like, fuck, okay, but it's not 100 pages. And we were like, yeah, no, it won't be, I swear.
Well, actually, when we told Bob it was 100 pages, his reaction was, all right. and we were like, no, Bob, no. We actually financially I don't think we can actually do 100 pages no matter what. So we have to narrow this thing down. And then there was a point where I was like, 70 pages? And then it was like, no. 52 pages. We got it there. But yeah, poor Bob. But also, fuck, dude, he crushed it, dude. He crushed it so hard. So good.
Very good, man. Well, we gotta ask, where can your viewers follow you for some more updates from?
Well, the internet is a hellscape, maybe even more so now than it was the last time we spoke.
I don't know what works anymore.
I don't know what works, if any of it works. It doesn't matter if it works. I love coming on Panaloids and chat with my friends Kyle and Pierre, no matter what. So I will say, if you want to follow along, we do a podcast with Matthew Rosenberg called Ideas Don't Bleed. That is not really centered on our stuff, except for sometimes when there's an episode about our stuff. But mostly we get to talk with really cool. There is. We get to talk to some incredible people in the comic book industry. Really great conversations over there. So go check that out, I would say, first and foremost. And on social media, I'm pretty much just on Instagram, and that is like barely. I'm so sorry to all the people I have to respond to in the DMs. It's really not a lot, but I feel bad about it. I'm in and out every time on that fucking app. I have a Blue Sky. I'm not really on it. I'm just at Griff Sheridan, GRIF.
I'm at Ethan S. Parker on that as well, and Ethan S. Parker with dots in between them on Instagram, and Tales to Astonish if you're still on Twitter for some reason. I don't know. I feel weird getting rid of it. There's followers over there. I don't know, but I don't want to be there. I don't know, but yeah, that stuff's all there. But mainly, check out the books. There's so many of them coming, and those are the things we're, really trying to put our best foot forward with. July 2nd. Bring on the Bad Guys: Green Goblin #1 hitting shelves.
We didn't really talk about it, but also
that's our first foray into the Marvel universe. Yes, it's crazy.
If anyone knows anything about Ethan and I, it's that we kind of like Spider-Man, and so
a little bit, just a little,
enter the Marvel universe with something so close to Spider-Man. It's fucking crazy. And this issue was so much fun to cook up. And Caitlin Linvet and Nick Lowe and everybody who helped bring it together at Marvel is really great. And the whole Bring on the Bad Guys line is really fun. And the premise around it just like lent itself to a really cool horror-centric Green Goblin story that we are.
It's the Goblin that's the scariest you've ever seen him before. And you're also going to find out more about Norman Osborn than you ever knew and maybe wanted to know. Maybe there's a little secret piece of his history that is going to be unveiled in there. And it's fucking crazy that we got to touch that we got to add something to the canon of not only those characters, but to the Silver Age, to the Stan Lee stuff. So, check it out. July 2nd.
Check it out.
But
go on. Say the thing.
Oh, I was just going to say, get your orders in if you want to check out Blink and You'll Miss It and Green Goblin. Or, I mean, not Green Goblin, Godzilla. There's so many G names. Get your orders in by June 30th. And both of those drop on August 6th. I think we're both also arranging signings in our areas for the drop of Blink and You'll Miss It and Godzilla. So maybe you'll be able to catch us at those as well. We'll put those up on our whatever internet things are. Yeah.
Same day. You have no excuse. You want lizard men? You want tails? I know you do. Godzilla Escape the Deadzone on shelves August 6th. You want weird, dreamlike, bizarre, sad, but also like really heartwarming and emotional. And did I say weird? Maybe there's monsters there too. I don't know. I do know. I won't say. But Blink and You'll Miss It. Also on shelves August 6th. You could pick up one. You could pick up both. You should pick up both, I think.
It's an opportunity to double dip where you can support creator-owned comics. Go, hey, I'm going to get something fresh and new and strange. And
this is
you can say, yum, yum, yum. Godzilla is one of my favorite IPs.
Yum. Nom, 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 nom. You could say that. This really, I think, the Barbenheimer of comics is happening right now. We need to come up with a name for it.
And you'll miss it. Blink and you'll have a tail.
Getting closer.
Oh,
Like
well, that's
that one.
not in the title of the book, Ethan. Blink and you'll
Blink and you'll
escape the dead zone?
Yeah.
Oh,
That makes
cool.
it sound pretty easy.
Oh, you got to do is blink.
How about Godzilla : Blink and you'll miss it?
Now I'm picturing a crossover book, and I'm not appalled. I don't hate it.
Kill Your Darlings 2 : Godzilla Escape the Dead Zone : Blink and you'll miss it : Ethan and Griffin forever.
Done.
I like it. Fun. That's it. You made it. It's official.
Thanks, guys.
Are you guys coming to Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, huh?
Yeah, we're gonna hug.
We're definitely going to be at San Diego Comic-Con. We're doing
that's like far away.
And signings and stuff. New York, we're pretty sure. We think we're doing New York, but it is to be confirmed. Yeah,
I'm gonna hug Griffin. Pierre's gonna hug Ethan because the height thing. It makes
a little awkward.
Yeah,
bad for me.
No, it's okay. That's acceptable.
Okay, that's fine.
We can arrange that.
Yep. Thanks. As long as we're both getting a hug, we're fine.
Yeah, just we can't cross.
I understand.
Can't cross tails. Can't cross tails.
Yeah.
Kyle, do you have one more? Or that's it. I think
I just want to point out, we don't have to touch on it, but I want to point out that we completely dodged the Kill Your Darling sequel part of the question. But that's all right. We could end it. We could talk about it.
I saw that in the question list. That was my little. I did a little reference to it. Kill Your Darlings 2 2028 coming soon.
Oh,
no, it's not true. We're not doing
Son
that.
I'll say this. We conceived Kill Your Darlings as a beginning, middle, end situation. We wanted to prove to ourselves and readers we can do a beginning, middle, and end. And we think that the book works best as one thing. That said, we've talked about a whole bunch of different things that could happen next, before, during Kill Your Darlings. And those are sometimes exciting, and sometimes we think, no, let's just leave it. I will say, we are working with Bob Quinn on another book.
It's true.
That subdues me a little bit.
So whether or not
at Distillery, that's already confirmed.
Okay. Well,
at Distillery,
you're letting the cat out of the bag, Ethan.
I mean, it's already let out. It was let out of the bag at the last New York Comic Con.
I didn't catch that one, so we're gonna act like it's new news.
Okay.
We've got a bunch of new beautiful Bob Quinn artwork. So that'll probably be enough, right?
So you'll be back.
Yes, and in greater numbers.
And
there we go. We're getting Bob back. Bob, you coming? You're gonna be on the show again.
Oh yeah.
That's our show, guys. Thanks for watching Panaloids, Comic Books, and More. If you haven't yet, check out our recent interviews with Sam Humphries and Kelly Thompson. We'll soon be announcing an interview with writers behind one of the new Valiant comics from Alien Books. So don't forget, this is a special treat. Next week, we've got a bonus guest joining us. That's right, a Jonas brother. Frankie Jonas himself will be hanging out.
Whoa!
Comics.
Wow,
that's right.
That's crazy.
Very exciting.
Join the Discord, subscribe, and go pre-order both Blink and You'll Miss It and Godzilla Escape the Dead Zone. Thanks again, boys.
Thank you. No, thank you so much for having us. It's always a joy to talk to you.
All right, everybody. Hugs and kisses.